American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. A vote is expected in the House at 9 Eastern Time tonight on the bill that would open back up the U.S. government. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer.
We're going to reopen the government as soon as these Democrats in the House give us the chance to vote on it. It'll get done. In the meantime, it's very sad. 40 days plus they shut down this government. And for what? For absolutely nothing except to hurt the American people. It's the exact same CR that we passed back on September 19th. The only difference is you now have a new date of the end of January, and then they added the 3 appropriations bills that were basically ready to go back in September.
Democrats are frustrated with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for failing to include their proposals to restore Medicaid spending and extend Affordable Care Act subsidies in the Republican-backed government funding bill passed by the Senate on Monday. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley claiming that Democrats were ready to do more economic damage to get their way.
The Democrats are actually now complaining and whining and fighting each other over the fact that they didn't inflict enough pain. This supposed party of the working class, that's what they tell each other all the time, is now out there saying, gee, we really should make people suffer more.
Top health officials are gathering in Washington for a closed-door summit today to discuss the Make America Healthy Again, or MAHA, agenda. The event is scheduled to feature discussions on food as medicine, reversing aging, and brain-computer interfaces. With the shutdown likely ending tonight, Democrats say they have put Republicans on the spot over rising health care costs. President Trump, meanwhile, is floating a replacement for Obamacare.
I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. Call it Trump care. Call it whatever you want to call it. But anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
Democrats say Republicans have offered no alternative that would actually lower costs for consumers. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz says the current system just isn't working.
Today, it's over 11 million people who have Obamacare never use their policies. They don't buy medications with it. They don't see doctors and use it, which means they often don't know they have it. And yet we're still stuck with the bill.
The Justice Department is launching an investigation after a fight broke out at a protest outside a Turning Point USA event at the University of California, Berkeley. And they blame it on Antifa, which the Trump administration designated a terrorist organization in September. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, promises a thorough investigation.
It is not a both sides problem. When a violent mob like Antifa comes and attacks like this, it's what we call a heckler's veto in First Amendment jurisprudence. And given the fact that there has now been a terrorist designation here, the Joint Terrorism Task Force is going to be looking into this.
And finally, a terrorism expert says the election of Zohran Mamdani to be mayor is going to be very bad for New York City.
Zohran Mamdani won't take office until January 1st, 2026. But the self-avowed socialist Democrat has already prompted New Yorkers to begin exit plans. Mamdani, who has said he opposes capitalism and wants to seize the means of production, has also publicly declared that billionaires should not exist. Many political observers are stunned that New Yorkers chose a communist Muslim. Brigitte Gabriel is founder and president of Act for America and author of Rise.
Reality we live in today. When we were sounding the alarm about the red-green axis, the leftists and Islamists coming together and organizing and networking and strategizing and running their own elected officials, the average American looks at what happened in New York and they are shocked. They think, oh my goodness, how can somebody like this get elected? He's going to be very bad for New York.
Gabriel says there will be a mass exodus.
There will be a mass exodus of capitalists and of Jews. And let's face it, the majority of businesses in New York are owned by Jewish people, very successful financial firms, hedge funds. And, you know, he wants to tax the top 1% of New Yorkers. Well, the top 1% of New Yorkers pay almost 50% of taxes. And it is those, the top 1%, who can actually relocate.
I'm Chad Groening.
More news online at afn.net. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Every day, AFA offers biblical insight on issues that others aren't willing to touch in the hopes that you'll become a world changer. That's why we're offering an in-depth worldview training course called Activate. 13 different professors teaching 18 sessions, all available online, including a printed workbook to help you apply what you've learned and 1-year access to AFA streaming content to give you even more resources. Find out more about Activate and sign up today at activate.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome everybody to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Today is Wednesday, November the 12th, 2025. And joining me I'm Tim Wildmon. I don't know if I think the announcer said that. Joining me in studio is Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Brother Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
Wesley Wildmon.
Glad to be here.
And Fred Jackson.
Hello there.
So it's four of us. As I said, we're going to split the brain power up 25% apiece.
Yep. And we're prepared for that.
And we're prepared for that.
Yeah.
Well, I just use 25% of my brain power every day, so.
Well, you got to conserve, Ed.
So
you spend all your brain power.
So you spend 25% of your brain 100% of the time.
Yes.
You like I did that?
I like that.
That sounds like something you tell your little baseball players you coach, Wesley.
Give
you need to get 25% of your effort 100% of the time. Who's with me?
7 days a week.
7 days a week. All right, Tim, Ed, Wesley, and Fred. We're here, and we're going to talk about what's happening in our country and in our world as much as we can and offer a biblical perspective on that, biblical worldview perspective. That's why we're here. That's what makes us different. Hopefully we can do that. That's what our goal is. And, of course, American Family Radio, we're here 24/7 providing good Bible teaching and news and information that will help you become a good Christian citizen in this here country. And by the way, we were having a reading this morning of a letter we're sending out to our supporters, which noted that upcoming is our 250th anniversary as a country.
Yes, 1776, 250 years. 2026 is the 250th.
I can't wait. I hope it's an amazing year because I have some of my fondest memories as a child. Was you're from Canada, Fred. Why are you laughing at me?
Because he's from
I'm
Canada.
about to share something very patriotic, and you're like laughing at me.
I thought you were going to say I was there 250 years ago.
Oh, well. No, I wasn't.
He's losing a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah, I don't think I'm slipping that bad. Yeah, I remember talking to George Washington.
When I was a kid.
Right, I gave him a piece of my mind. Anyway, so but what I was going to say was some of my fondest memories as a child was being 13 years old. That's a child, it's a teenager, and celebrating the bicentennial.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
You've mentioned that, but I don't. Like, obviously.
Well, it was a great year. For me,
1976.
Yeah, for Americans. I remember everybody had, your swim trunks were red, white, and blue. You had T-shirts that celebrated the bicentennial.
Yep.
And
that was the year I graduated from high school.
76?
76. I was a 76 graduate.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Fred,
anyway,
don't pretend like you care.
What's your you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
A lot of patriotism. Everybody was a patriot.
Yeah.
Man, it was such a wonderful time to be an American.
Both parties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, both parties.
Oh yeah.
Nobody was calling for the overthrow of the foundational ideas of our country.
No. Democrats and Republicans had differences, obviously, on how to govern, but there was no question. I mean, I didn't say Jimmy Carter's a communist.
Right.
He was just.
Or he didn't self-identify as a communist either.
No, he didn't.
Like Mom Donnie
but
does.
Right. I mean, the Democrat Party has just gone so far left. But back in I don't know when you would say, but when that changed necessarily, it was kind of gradual. But everybody was, Democrats and Republicans alike were.
The main fault line,
loved America and were patriotic.
Yeah, one of the, I shouldn't say the main, one of the main fault lines between Republicans and Democrats, they all loved America. Founding principles was guns or butter. Okay, that was the way I remember it in economics class. Do you spend more on military or do you spend more on providing social services? That was kind of the one of the main fault lines. Republicans wanted to spend more on military, like Ronald Reagan, to keep up with the Soviet Union, and Democrats said, no, we already spend too much. But they both parties loved America.
Yeah.
At least,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like Wesley said, as far as we know, they did. So
you got to ask another question about
No, I was going to share a little inside baseball with our today's issues audience here.
Go.
But they can't share it with anybody else.
Okay. All right. Just between us.
Just between us. We are working on a 250-year anniversary of our country video with a couple of the Bartons and Steve McDowell, Rick Green, Walker, Wildmon, and a few others. And so we're working on coordinating that. So I mentioned that to give you a little inside baseball, but also so you could pray for the idea as it's coming together. And we'll release that in 2026. And we'll have more information as we get past New Year's. But we're working on something. So when you listen to us and you financially support the work we do, we're going to...
You mean David and Tim Barton from Wall Builders?
That's right. Yes, sir.
And Stephen McDowell from the Providence
and Rick
Foundation.
Green.
Rick Green.
Walker Wildmon.
Yep.
And also...
but
you have a commercial in there, Dad.
We will have Tim Wildmon because he was there in 1770.
When is the meeting? Because I didn't get an invitation.
So we've got a couple AI audios of you that we're going to slip in.
Oh, AI audios of me.
And we're going to tell you what we want you to say. No, I'm just kidding. No, we can include you if you'd like to be included. Fred, would you like to be included? Ed, would you like to be included?
No, we can't give a trophy to everybody. I just thought maybe as president of the ministry, I would be of value to the film.
By the way, the idea is not complete. So if the audience prays hard enough, maybe you'll come to mind.
Okay.
I've reached the stage of life and also my career here at AFA because in February I will have been here 30 years. That when you say, "Do you want to be in the film?" I go, "Nope."
Nope.
No. For one thing, we've all these people you named, including Tim.
Yeah.
These are people that our listeners and supporters want to hear from.
Yeah.
They're experts on all this.
Yeah.
I would just be another pretty face. And who needs that?
Yeah, who needs that?
Yeah, Ed. You're often confused with Brad Pitt.
I'm actually more usually confused with Robert Redford after he passed away.
Oh, okay. Bada boom. Okay, so anyway, I just say all that for the last 7 minutes to say I'm looking so forward to celebrating our 250th birthday here in the U.S. When is Canada's 200th or whatever? What's coming up next?
Yeah, well, we were 100 years old in 1967 when you guys were talking. 67 was the big year for us, 100 years.
So it's 150 or 160 now, right? Coming up on it.
Coming up on it, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And 67, wait, there's another date that it wasn't that the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, for those who don't know, what Ed just did right there was he kicked Fred in the Canadian groin. Is what he did right there because he insulted his maybe worse than that, insulted his hockey team. Ed
well,
did.
It's not technically his hockey team.
No, Chicago's my hockey team.
But anyway, it was a slight against a team that my team, the Boston Bruins, despised.
It was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. And I don't think we're allowed to say what you said on the air.
Don't say it again. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Do I need to apologize again, or just move on?
We're good.
Let's move on. All right, Fred, what's your first story?
Well, supposedly at 8 o'clock tonight Central Time, the House will vote on that bill that supposedly
I'm going to be watching.
will end the shutdown.
C-SPAN, here I come.
Yeah. And there are a lot of stories surrounding this. You know, House Majority Leader Tom Ember, he says the shutdown has caused needless pain because what's on the table right now, what's going to be voted on tonight pretty well, was offered way back on September the 19th. Cut 2.
We're going to reopen the government as soon as these Democrats in the House give us the chance to vote on it. It'll get done. In the meantime, it's very sad. I mean, 40 days plus they shut down this government. And for what? For absolutely nothing except to hurt the American people. It's the exact same CR that we passed back on September 19th. The only difference is you now have a new date of the end of January, and then they added the 3 appropriations bills that were basically ready to go back in September.
Yeah.
Who was that, gentleman?
Tom Ember. He is the House Majority Whip.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So that'll be voted on tonight and then passed, and the president will sign it tomorrow?
That is the plan. Now, I'm sure the Democrats are going to try to come up with some kind of delay tactics in all of this because House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says there will be no vote unless there are Obamacare tax credits. Got 4.
House Democrats will strongly oppose any legislation that does not decisively address the Republican health care crisis. We want to reopen the government. We'll continue to stand by our hard-working federal employees and civil servants, but we have a responsibility to make sure that we extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
I'm confused.
All right, we're going to try to straighten that out, Tim.
You know what I'm confused about?
What are you confused about?
That was the leader of the Democrats.
That's correct.
He's saying we're not voting for this.
Yes.
Okay, and I would say it doesn't matter because the Republicans have enough votes on their own, even though their margin's very slight.
Yes.
To pass it without your votes. Am I right?
Heck, yes. Hakeem Jeffries is just being the leader and trying to put a happy face, I guess, on
He's a happy face guy.
Yeah,
he really is.
But you
Hakeem
know,
Jeffries cracks me up every time I hear him.
A lot of people are confused about the whole Obamacare credits thing, and basically what the Democrats want to do is continue the subsidies that were put in place when Joe Biden was president. There was COVID. Extra money was being given to people because they were out of work. So they want to continue this. So we have Vic Roy, who's from the Foundation for Research on Equal Opportunity. He says Obamacare is overcharging right now the young and healthy to take care of the elderly and the sick. Cut 10, pardon me.
Tell me what went wrong with Obamacare.
The bottom line is it's the regulations. Obamacare created a nationwide, one-size-fits-all set of regulations for that kind of insurance that you were mentioning, that people buy on their own, outside of their employer, outside of the government. And the two things that Obamacare did that broke the insurance market were, one, it overcharged healthy people that needed insurance to help fund the cost of insurance for sick people, and overcharged young people to help fund the cost of insurance for sick people. So young people paid double, triple, quadruple what they were paying before, and healthy people paid double, triple, quadruple what they paid before. And so those were the people who were particularly harmed by Obamacare, who dropped out of the market, who can't find affordable coverage unless they get those subsidies. And the end result is, if only sicker and older people buy insurance, the price of insurance for everybody goes through the roof.
Okay, so that was a good explanation.
It was good.
What he's talking about there. But
I mean, that's kind of true about all insurance.
That's what I was thinking.
It's kind of true about all insurance that you create a pool of money. An insurance company with all of its customers creates a pool of money, and that pool of money is used to pay out claims. So you have to have enough healthy people in that pool who aren't drawing out because they're not getting sick in order to keep funding the health care for sick people so that the company can make a profit and stay in business. Okay, that's a very basic way of understanding how insurance works. So what Obamacare did is create a way for people who don't have insurance provided by work to try to get insurance, but it's got to work the same way. You've got to have young people and healthy people funding it through the insurance companies so that they don't go out of business. And we all know that if you go into a hospital emergency room, back when we had unlimited illegal immigration, they were filled. And the hospital was
those people are still here.
They were providing free health care for people who weren't paying anything. And so the rest of us, our bills were exaggeratedly high to cover the hospital so they could take care of those people for free. It's a very complex system, but the Democrats, I think this explanation was just very helpful, that you were charging incredibly high premiums for people who don't actually need to use the insurance to cover the people who do.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So I was like 30 seconds from eyes glazing over. But you finished just on time.
My eyes were glazing over while I was speaking.
I tell you. Well, anyway, let me ask you one other question, if I can belabor the point, because most people say I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm going to belabor it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Huh?
On
Right
purpose.
here. When they say, what is an Obamacare subsidy? What is that exactly? Is that money that goes to individuals directly to help pay for Obamacare insurance, or does that go to companies? What is an Obamacare, or does that go to states? What is an Obamacare subsidy? Does anybody here know?
The aim of it is to reduce the cost of insurance for individuals.
But what is it? Is it federal tax dollars?
Oh, it's federal tax dollars.
So it's federal money. It's federal money.
Absolutely.
It's real money that the federal government is doling out. Is that what this is?
Yes.
Okay. That's what a subsidy means.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's another.
And it goes to insurance companies.
Yes.
So if you're an individual who wants to go through Obamacare to get insurance, you go to company X.
Yes.
And you have the subsidy, so you can kick in that extra money and add it to what you're going to provide.
So that kind of subsidy has been going on since COVID. It was done in the name of helping people get through COVID financially, right?
Yes.
And now it's supposed to term out. The legal limit, it's supposed to expire.
Yes.
And the Democrats they're holding out saying, no, we want to continue with the subsidies. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you looked at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Wesley, because I don't see any answers in your eyes, son.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one additional thing to remember is that insurance companies are free to do the following. They find out that Congress is kicking in federal tax dollars to create subsidies, so then they are legally allowed to raise the premiums.
Yes.
Because they're going to be getting free money from the government.
Yes.
And so everyone else complains because rates go up.
Yes.
You know, I think you're going to find more and more people interested in this Christian share type of approach. Now, we have traditional insurance here.
Yes.
But
we've looked into that, though.
We've looked into that, and there may be a time in the future when we swap over. But I'm just saying that's growing.
It is.
That
Medishare, right? No, what's it called?
The different
you know what I'm saying? That approach.
That's right, Medishare.
Medishare, where
we advertise them on April.
Yeah. It's a great organization, and but anyway, I think that will continue to grow.
Christian Care Ministry, Medishare.
Because health insurance is goes up, and the cost of health care goes up every year. And health care is not like any other kind of insurance. All right. You're talking about life. Okay. You're talking about health. You're talking about your well-being. And so you can't, you can't, nobody wants to say, well, you can't have a kidney transplant, sir, because you don't have any money.
Right.
So just go home and die. I mean, who does that?
No.
Huh? So it's whereas you could say, well, sorry, sir, you don't have the money for your car insurance, so you just go home and don't drive. Okay, well, you can deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can't. The other I'm talking about is even people here who are here illegally. I'm a deport people who are here illegally guy, because we have to have legal immigration, we have to have law and order, or we don't have a country. But if you're going to ask Tim, there's a child who's 5 years old who's got tuberculosis or whatever, or breaks their leg, and he's here illegally. Do you want to yes or no on helping him with this sickness or ailment? I would say
yes.
Huh?
You got to say yes.
Yeah. Do you not have a heart?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time of me saying, you got to help So you got to help people who are in need physically. At the same time, guess what? Your charity has to be paid for.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a reality also.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, and so there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, absolutely, take care of the kid, broke his arm.
Right.
But we don't need so many people here getting health care who can't pay, because that affects the cost for everybody else. So we're going to firm up the border.
Yep.
And we're going to deport people. They may go to the emergency room before they get out, but
what
we're
America?
going to shut down the.
I don't want to belabor. I'm going to belabor a belabored point here. Can I belabor?
Absolutely.
I'll double down on my belaboring.
But you got 8, 7, 6, and I start glazing over.
I'll just say this, and I'm not saying anything,
4.
but everybody, most people that are listening don't already agree with what Joe Biden and the Democrats did for 4 years by doing away with our border was abominable.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to hurt our country for a long, long time, because we've got, they say 15 million people came in here. Who knows, maybe more. In 4 years, just nobody vetted them. We're hearing now all the time about people being caught who are here illegally, who are criminals, right?
That's right.
But just people who aren't criminals, but just poured into our country without any kind of law and order, without going through the process of legal immigration. And now we are supposed to absorb the social services for all these people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you don't have a heart, or you're inhumane. But what Joe Biden did by letting all these people come in, of course, the Democrats want these folks to become legal. That's why you'll often hear a pathway to citizenship, so that they can then vote Democrat from here till forever.
Yeah.
That's what their goal is. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, but that was their goal when they let 15 million people in here.
And those are the people that they let in just in those 4 years. There were already millions of people that were here illegally anyways.
They came in
during the previous administration.
But yes, but Biden said, y'all come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, you remember, I mentioned this before. You remember the Democrat debate? It was in Miami. It was during 2016. No, 2020. And remember, the Democrats had their primary. And Kamala Harris was in it. Joe Biden was in it. Bernie Sanders was in it. And the commentator said, raise your hand if you want to pay for insurance for anybody who comes here illegally. Now, they didn't phrase it like that. They would have said something about here, raise your hand if you want America to cover health insurance for undocumented people. That's probably how they would have put it. And every one of them raised their hands.
That's right.
And you're going like, you're incentivizing people to come here from all over the world and just pour into our country, and we're supposed to take care of them by you raising your hand saying we should pay for their health needs.
Right.
Because that's the ultimate agenda of Obamacare.
Right.
It was step one to get socialized medical care.
Yes.
Yeah. One day we're going to have socialized medicine, probably, or some form of it.
Yep.
People would argue Obamacare already is, but then you're going to have people who want to pay for country club membership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Pay for health care.
An even bigger gap on either side.
Above and beyond what you can get through just general insurance or not having insurance. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and I promise not to
belabor the
belaboring.
It's no more belaboring for me this show. Okay. All right. No
All
more
of us
belaboring.
say amen.
All right. We'll be back momentarily.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Years ago, a national magazine carried an article about insurance company executive Edward Rust. Rust related an incident which happened while he was in an office conference in Bloomington, Illinois. Rust interrupted the meeting to answer a call from a customer of his company who was in Houston. Rust spoke with the customer, listened to the problem he was having, and then was able to help the customer. Rust said that when the conversation was ended, one of the people in the office conference commented that an efficiency expert would be appalled that he would interrupt an important meeting in order to involve himself in the problems of one of the company's 20 million policy holders. He was told that an efficiency expert would consider it an inefficient use of executive time. The reply Rust gave was this: "My response was, and I deeply believe this, that the day I refuse calls from customers is the day I should resign, because that is the day I will have begun to lose contact with the real world in which we operate." As I read that story, I got to thinking about God. Many times we doubt if God is interested in us personally and in our personal problems. With more than 1 billion people on the earth, it's hard to conceive of a God who could and would be concerned about us personally. However, this is precisely the message of the New Testament. God does know each of us, even as a shepherd knows his sheep. He's concerned about us and about our problems. He is not a remote God, far off somewhere in his heaven, unconcerned about us. His presence sometimes surprises us as much as it did Jacob. "Surely the Lord is in this place," said Jacob, "and I did not know it." He is as close as the air we breathe, more concerned about us than perhaps we are about ourselves. The message of the New Testament is that God cares. God so loved the world that he gave. God is accessible to each of us. He will even interrupt a council meeting with the angels in order to listen and help with our problems. A man by the name of Brewer Maddox wrote a little poem which reminds us that God has not lost contact with the real world in which we live. Let me share it with you. The parish priest of austerity climbed up in a high church steeple to be near God so that he might hand down his word to his people. And in sermon script he daily wrote what he thought was sent from heaven and dropped this down on people's heads 2 times, 1 day in 7. In his age God said, "Come down and die." And he cried from the steeple, "Where art thou, Lord?" And the Lord replied, "Down here among my people." That's where you'll always find God, among his people.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
In him we were also chosen as God's own, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything by the counsel of his will, in order that we, who were the first to hope in Christ, would be for the praise of his glory. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11 and 12.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the last half hour of today's issues, I'd go back and listen to it again. It was riveting radio, if I do say so myself. We talked government shutdown, ending,
insurance,
votes. We talked insurance. We talked Obamacare.
Subsidies. We're all over
subsidies alone are worth listening to us talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you won't have to take your melatonin before you go to sleep at night if you just listen to that segment.
I thought that has something to do with your skin color.
That's melanin.
Oh, I've been taking the wrong thing then.
Yeah, you have.
Well, I've noticed.
That hasn't helped me sleep better at all.
I've noticed a yellowing
Made me whiter.
shade to you. You've been taking the wrong kind of melanin.
I've been getting whiter. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. So anyway, we wanted to wrap this story. In all seriousness, we've been talking about health insurance and also the Democrats and Republicans have been arguing about continuing Obamacare subsidies that started during COVID to help Americans who are struggling economically. As typical of Democrats, they want to continue with welfare programs and increase them into eternity. That's basically their platform.
Yeah.
So that they've been arguing over that, Republicans and Democrats. But anyway, you wanted to play one other clip before we get to our guest, having relative to this issue?
Yes, Dr. Mehmet Oz. I think most of our audience very familiar with him. He now holds the title of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. He's the administrator there.
He was a wizard for many years.
Come on, Ed. Can we get serious for a minute? It's up to me. Keep this show on track. Go ahead, Ed. I apologize, Fred.
Continuing on. Now, he says the government, the taxpayers of America, could save a lot of money because there are apparently, according to Dr. Oz, 11 million people who have Obamacare, but they never use it. Cut 11.
Today, it's over 11 million people who have Obamacare never use their policies. They don't buy medications with it. They don't see doctors and use it, which means they often don't know they have it. And yet we're still stuck with the bill. The president doesn't want that anymore.
Yeah, that's the issue here, is that the government is subsidizing people getting insurance companies, giving millions, billions of dollars to insurance companies for people who don't even need it or use it.
Yeah, and the insurance companies are racking up this extra money from the government.
Yes.
With increasing their profits, which I guess if someone offers you free money, well, guess what most people say? Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Dr. Oz, he's in charge of what? What's his title?
His title is Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
All right. We appreciate that, Fred, giving us that information. You're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Well, here we are in the middle of November, so before you know it, it'll be Christmas. And one of the things that American Family Association, the parent ministry here of AFR, has been known for 20 years are our Christmas buttons. That and we have a brand new one here that we're going to talk about. Our Christmas buttons. You might have seen them. People wearing Christmas buttons. Something, and it would always have something to do with, with the real reason for the season, as they say. And so we're going to talk about that right now and tell you how you can get your 2025 Christmas buttons. And Ed has his own, and Fred has his own. I'm about to put mine on. But joining us in the studio is our number one ambassador for our Christmas buttons, Brother Jerry Lawson, who is the senior pastor of Enon Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Ackerman, Mississippi. Good morning, Brother Jerry.
Good morning, sir.
Did I get the church right?
Yes, sir, you did.
Now, I've asked you this before, and I'm familiar with Cumberland Presbyterian churches. What is that? Where? Tell us about the Cumberland Presbyterian denomination.
Well, it had its beginning in 1810 in Great Revival, and we were kind of separated from the Presbyterian Church
Why'd you
over
do that?
several
Why'd you do
theological
that?
issues.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, today we have about 1,000 churches, one seminary and one college.
Where's that?
Well, the college is in McKenzie, Tennessee, Bethel College, and Memphis Theological Seminary is in Memphis.
Gotcha. Well, we have a lot of supporters who attend Cumberland Presbyterian churches, and I know they're very theologically conservative and sound. But so you serve at the church, Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Ackerman, Mississippi. Now, you're here every year, and you don't age, brother. By the way, I just want to compliment you. I don't know what melanoma or what are you?
No.
What?
That's cancer. Okay, so there's melatonin.
See,
there's melanin.
And then there's
melanoma.
You see, Jerry, I have to deal with the splitting hair stuff.
Well,
with
as long as you're not wearing glasses, I will not change.
All right. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit of the story of how you got to be our number one Christmas button guy.
If you go back 20 years ago, they were having a war on Christmas. Many people were allowed to say Happy Holidays.
Right.
But as far as saying Merry Christmas, that was offensive in a lot of the big box stores. And there were some people that started a campaign about the fact that you couldn't say Merry Christmas. And so anyway, when your dad started coming out with the buttons, I was kind of incensed down at a particular store. And I said, Merry Christmas. And the lady looked at me and pointed her finger and said, shh, don't say that in here. And I thought, what? And
was this in Mississippi?
Yes.
Yeah, or deep red state.
Bible
Not
Belt.
far from my community down there in Ackerman.
Bible
And
Belt.
so the Lord just laid on my heart, and he showed me the buttons and all, and I said, I think the Lord's led me into this, and I'm going to start getting these buttons and passing them out. And I think the first year I passed out maybe about 50 buttons, and last year was 2,500 buttons, and so we've done passed out 500 this year.
Amen. Well, we at American Family Association, and thanks to Jerry and thousands of people maybe listening to me right now, have distributed these buttons and across America the last 20 plus years. And the purpose is to keep Christ in Christmas in our country, because there are people, as Jerry's talking about, in this war on Christmas, which many people mocked and said isn't real. Oh yeah, it was real. I remember I was on with Bill O'Reilly on his television show about this.
Right.
And he was helpful, Bill O'Reilly, on Fox News, in getting combating this. But there are a lot of people, the secular progressives, I call them the God haters, they want to do away with our Christian heritage. And one of the ways they wanted to do that is to change the
phrase "Merry Christmas,"
the specialness of the Christmas season that we love in America, to do away with that and change it to just a generic holiday.
As if people were going to stores to buy holiday gifts. They were going to buy Christmas gifts.
And that was one of the things that we pointed out, is that for all these stores who say, no, our employees are not allowed to say Merry Christmas, as you say, Ed, then why do you think those people are in your stores?
Right.
They're not buying Kwanzaa gifts.
Yeah.
Or winter solstice.
Yeah, they're buying Christmas gifts. So you're a hypocrite if you're a corporation who tells people don't commemorate, don't mention the name of the very reason that people are buying stuff in our stores.
People weren't buying holiday trees. They were buying Christmas trees.
Well, it's weird.
And we all know that.
We had a local chain of stores, home improvement, I won't mention the name because this does go back 20 years, that started selling holiday trees.
Oh, they did?
They actually had a sign, holiday trees.
Gotcha.
But you know, Lowe's, that we went... Did I slip?
No,
anyway,
sir.
I'll just tell you. Okay, this was 20 plus years ago, and it was Lowe's.
Yeah.
And Lowe's announced that they were going with holiday trees, and they had always called them Christmas trees.
Right.
And then Randy Sharp, who works here at AFA, and Buddy Smith got on this project. Two of our employees who were communicating with Lowe's, and I think Randy may have gone and personally met with them. I think so. And with Lowe's, I'm talking about. And you know what? To Lowe's credit, they changed immediately. They said, you know what?
You're right.
You're right. Yeah. And they've always been Christmas trees, and we're not switching over to holiday trees. We're going to go back to saying Christmas trees. Right. So we won that one.
Yeah.
So bringing this full circle, now that we would say, AFA would say at this point, by and large, we've won that fight. We also, if you look at these, it says on the Christmas buttons this year, it says, Jesus, our joy for all eternity. And it's got a picture of the nativity scene with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. And that's what it includes there. And so this image now becomes a form of a gospel tract because you can wear them and share them, as we say. And I know Dr. Jerry Lawson has some, at least
He's
one.
A doctor?
Nope, sorry, no, brother.
Well, you going to give him some kind of honorary doctorate here for today's issues? You
honorary for how many buttons he's giving out?
Okay, give him an honorary doctorate.
That's right, brother.
Some kind of resolution.
Brother Jerry Lawson, you have at least one story you could share with us.
about how
you wear them and share them and how impactful.
Hey, before he does that, can I tell people how to order these?
Yeah, do so.
Okay, and Jerry, they do want you to share it. He's got 100 stories. So how long? Do you want
Yeah,
to
that's
take?
right. One.
And they're all good, brother.
Sure.
I'll tell you that. Do we have this on our Facebook page? So Brent Creeley's putting this on our Facebook page for today's issues, but that is how you can look at the buttons and order the buttons. Ed, if people want to order said buttons that we're talking about here, which say they've got the nativity scene, and in big and bold is the word Jesus.
Yes.
And underneath, as Wesley said, it says, "Our joy for all eternity." It's a beautiful Christmas button this year. They all are every year, but how can people order these? Because now's the time of the year now's the time to order them so that we can get them to people before Thanksgiving even, and they can wear them and give them away in December.
And by the way, that is what we are encouraging. That's why they're packaged in sets of 10. You say, well, I can't wear 10 buttons at a time. No, you wear one, and then when someone comes up and says, hey, I love that button, you give it to them. And then you can talk about the Lord Jesus. Like Wesley said, it's a great opportunity for starting a conversation with someone about the Lord that can easily move into a witnessing kind of situation. So you can get them two ways. You can order online. You can go to our resource center. Here's the web address, resources.afa.net. Resources.afa.net, or by calling this number, 877-927-4917.
Where does that call?
I'll give that again. Calls the ladies upstairs, Resource Center.
For English, hit 1.
I don't know. I'm assuming that's not.
I think it's probably a lot of Southern English on that number. If it's upstairs here.
Well, we know a couple of ladies up there that you get.
But you'll be able to understand them.
Yeah. 877-927-4917 again, or go to resources.afa.net. So, brother or Dr. Jerry Lawson, why don't you share one of those stories? You've been coming to AFA every year at this time, doing devotion for us, and you always have great stories. What story sticks out this morning?
Well, I mean, I've been blessed to be a blessing. And my wife and I grow the peaches. She makes the peach pies, and she makes one of the best southern peach pies you'll ever have. And this past week, I was taking a meal to a shut-in, and when I went into the house, there was one of these in-home health care workers, this black lady, and she kept looking at my button. And, of course, I like to wear a shirt with a pocket and have a button with a magnet behind it where I can just pop it off and hand it to them, and it kind of startles them when I can take it off like that. But she said, I'd like to have one of those buttons. And I said, well, if you talk to Jesus about it. She said, well, no. I said, well, he knows you wanted one, so I'm going to give it to you. And she looked at it. She hugged me. She gave me a kiss. My wife doesn't know about that, but I don't want her to find out. But anyway, she did exactly what I wanted her to do. And she said, Sunday, when I go to church, I'm going to tell our elders and deacons to order us some buttons. Said, we all need to be wearing them in the church. And I thought, well, that's great.
That's awesome.
I had an 8-year-old girl come up to me Sunday at church, and I wondered if she'd lost her button because she'd been wearing it. I want you to know, I've been wearing the Lenten buttons or Easter buttons, but then in August I went into a department store and they had Christmas decorations, so I said I'm going home and I'm going to get one of them Christmas buttons and I'm going to start wearing it.
Yeah.
And anyway, this young lady, she said, and I asked her about her button, and she said, Brother Jerry, I do what you do. I gave it away. Can I have another one? She got another one.
Yes.
And but I agree. You need to have a button, but you need to have some in your pocket like I've had here today to pass out to people at the AFA Center.
All right. Well, they come in packaged in of 10.
It's free shipping.
Free shipping. And how do they order, Ed?
Well, and we do. By the way, you can order several packs. I don't know off the top of my head what these cost, but it's not that much. So you can give away as many as you can. Here's the way to order. You do two ways. Online, you go to our resource center, and the web address is resources.afa.net, resources.afa.net, or call this number, 877-927-4917, 877-927-4917. And can I share something embarrassing about myself?
Please do.
Yeah, okay. So when Brother Don first started doing this 20 years ago,
my dad,
your dad,
founder of this
Brother Don,
ministry.
yeah, he came into my office, and Rusty Benson, we were working on the magazine at that time, and he said, I have an idea, and I want to see what you guys think about it. I'm thinking of doing Christmas buttons. And he said, and he gave us the whole idea, what we're discussing here. He said, what do you guys think about that? So I said, and I was being very honest, I said, Brother Don, I haven't seen anyone wear a button since 1972 during the election. I said, I don't think anybody's gonna want these. I don't remember what Rusty said, but your dad, when he had a vision to do something, he said, okay, well, I'm going to do it. And I think we distributed a million
buttons
that year. So I tell that story because I am frequently wrong.
And you want to make plans for the future, don't come to Ed.
Yes.
That's basically what we learned there.
Don't ask me who to buy stock from.
No, I'm the same way.
Your dad had this amazing gift, I always say, to see around corners and to understand where things were going culturally and what to do about it. And this buttons is an odd answer to the war against Christmas, but it's the perfect answer.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the perfect answer.
Amen. All right. Listen, thank you so much, Jerry, for driving up.
Expect that honorary doctorate in the mail at any time.
Will it come framed?
Yeah, we'll get it to you framed, Jerry.
As many buttons he's giving away.
He deserves it.
He does.
All right, thank you. That's Brother Jerry Lawson from Ackerman, Mississippi. He's the pastor there at Enon Cumberland Presbyterian Church, and is giving out more AFA Christmas buttons than anybody in the world. I would dare say, and they're not our buttons. They don't promote us. They promote Jesus Christ and being the reason for the season, as they say.
And by the way, I do. Brent Creedy, our producer, just texted me. So for these packs of Christmas buttons, here's a suggested donation for one pack of 10 buttons, $15. The more you get, the more it drops. 2 to 4 packs, $10. 5 to 9 packs, $8, 10 plus packs, $5 a pack.
Can people go and look at the button before they order them?
Yeah, they go to the resource.
So some people do that. They want to say, I want to know what they look like before I order them.
Absolutely. If you go to resources.afa.net, you will be able to, when you click through, you will be able
to
get
that real slow again.
Yes,
Spell it out for me.
When you go there, there's a banner at the top of this website.
Can't miss it.
And it will rotate with a number of different products, one of which is the button. Okay, and so here's the website address, resources.afa.net. Resources, that's RESOURCES, resources.afa.net. And if you go, you will find our Joy for All Eternity Christmas buttons, and you just click on that. And
people need to order these because it's time, because we got plenty of time now to get them to people before Thanksgiving even. So that during the month of December, you can wear them and give them away. It's a great way to witness.
Yes,
right?
It is.
I mean, the Bible tells us we should share the hope that is within us, and no better time of the year than Christmas to do that with people. And so the buttons are a great conversation starter.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
All right, Fred, what's our next story?
Well, one of the fallouts from the government shutdown, a lot of people are familiar with this, has been airplane traffic. Lots of cancellations, lots of delays out there. And if the House does vote to approve this bill that's now been passed by the Senate, don't expect that problem to go away overnight. You're still going to see lots of delays. We have a very complicated air traffic system in this country. I often mention to people, if you go to Flight Aware, which is an app that you can get for your phone, and you can look at the air traffic around this country. It is amazing that we have air traffic controllers and a system that keeps it all very straight. So right now, what has happened as of yesterday, the Transportation Secretary, Duffy, they're reducing it incrementally because we got air traffic controllers who are not showing up for work because they're not getting paid during this shutdown. And if the delays continue, it'll go to 10%. So we're getting closer to that busy travel season, and it's getting very difficult. But Kyle Bailey, who is the former FAA safety team rep, says that it's still safe to fly because the safety of the plane has always been in the hands of the pilot. Cut number 6.
It is 100% safe to fly right now, like it is always. The pilots have a complete situational awareness around their airplane, and with what's going on now, they realize they have to be on their game all the time and completely aware of what's going on in the airplane and around the airplane at all times, especially in the highly congested airspace like we see in these major metro areas like New York City, Dallas, Los Angeles. The good news here is it seems like the air traffic controllers are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with possibly the shutdown coming to an end either late today or tomorrow. And the attendance figures are coming up a little bit for those air traffic controllers. So we're a little bit of a good news right there.
Yeah, and the point he's trying to make there is very simple. They're only going to allow as many planes as the existing air traffic control system as we're in right now can handle, all right? So you don't have to worry about planes running into each other. But what you do have to worry about right now, if you got a reservation for a flight in the next 24 hours or so, you may get contacted by your airline saying, we're not doing it, you're canceling your flight or delaying your flight. So, it's for safety that's going on right now, why you have all these cancellations or you have delays. But they are promising to get it back. Hey, listen, these air traffic controllers have a very, very intense job.
Right.
You imagine being an air traffic controller around Atlanta or Chicago or New York. New York, you got 2 big airports. Well, actually, you got 3. Newark, you got Kennedy, and you got LaGuardia in there. I have so much respect for these guys, these air traffic controllers. And
you're
these,
a former military pilot yourself, so you pay attention to these things. You showed us during our story meeting this morning. You follow on the app, on certain apps about incoming flights, outgoing. It looks like spaghetti strands.
It does
on that screen.
It's amazing that we don't have more accidents, but it's because of the professionals that run the system, both in the cockpit and in that tower.
Right.
I had a really good friend, we haven't talked in a while though, but who was the air traffic controller at Chicago O'Hare.
Oh, boy.
Can you imagine that pressure on them?
No.
I mean, that's one of the largest, busiest airports in the world.
And that's why, Fred, you said retirement age for
late 50s, I believe.
Late 50s, because they just can't handle the stress beyond that.
Yep.
I can relate to that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Your life's like being an air traffic controller at
more
O'Hare.
than just a pretty face.
That's right.
We'll be back momentarily. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
It's been proven again and again and again. Bert Harper. The verification of the dates, the verification of the genealogies, it puts spiritual iron in my spiritual blood to know that we can depend upon the Word of God.
Exploring the Word, weekday afternoons at 3 Central on American Family Radio.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. President Trump will be selecting another policymaker for the Federal Reserve after a just-announced retirement. Jenny Casola has more.
Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic says he will retire when his current 5-year term expires at the end of next February, which gives President Trump another appointment to the bank. In a statement, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it had been a privilege to serve alongside Bostic, who had brought a steady voice to policy discussions. Bostic became the first African-American and openly gay president of a regional Fed bank in its history when he took the job in 2017. Bostic is 59. He was eligible to serve as the bank's president for another 6 years until hitting a mandatory retirement age of 65.
A spending bill to fund the government has advanced to the House, where lawmakers are expected to vote on it tonight. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the shutdown could finally end, and he points blame at Democrats for voting down Republicans' initial proposal.
I just want to apologize to any Americans who are out there who still have flight cancellations or delays today. I want to apologize to the many American families who were made to go hungry over the last several weeks, our troops and other federal employees who are wondering where their next paycheck would come from. All of that's on the Democrats.
President Trump is pushing for a pardon for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
In a letter to Israel's President Isaac Herzog, President Trump writes it's time for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to be fully pardoned to unite the country and end lawfare once and for all. President Trump concluded a speech at Israel's parliament last month, also calling for a pardon of Netanyahu. The prime minister is on trial for corruption charges. President Trump calls Netanyahu a decisive leader, standing tall in the face of strong adversaries, and his attention cannot be unnecessarily diverted. Herzog's office did not take a position, but says a pardon request must go through the proper channels. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A Florida man has been arrested and charged with sex crimes against numerous children. Officials in Hernando County accuse Nathan Holmberg of preying on at least 7 children and recording the encounters on his cell phone. An investigation of his phone found hundreds of photos and videos, with the youngest victim being 3 years old and the oldest being 10. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer says the state is now seeking the death penalty against Holmberg, which would mark the first execution for someone convicted of child sex crimes.
I believe that crimes like this against young children, where you take their innocence, you take their childhood away from them, these horrific acts deserve the ultimate form of justice.
Texans recently passed a proposition that seeks to help the state's water infrastructure. Robert Thornton has more.
Texans passed Proposition 4 that addresses water on a 70% to 30% vote last week. The Texas population is increasing as people flee states with higher taxes. Housing subdivisions and other business buildings are popping up, and there is more concern about current and future water resources. The Texas Water Development Board says the Texas population is projected to increase 53% between 2030 and 2080. Proposition 4 requires the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts each state fiscal year to deposit into the Texas Water Fund the first $1 billion of net revenue from state sales and use taxes that exceed the first $46.5 billion of that revenue. The board oversees the state's water supply and will manage the money. Larry French, Senior Fellow for Water Policy at the Texas Public Policy Foundation.
This is related to developing a dependable source of money to finance projects that deal with the water challenges that we face in Texas.
He said a big need is to fix leaky pipes in city and community water systems.
You look at some of the big cities in the state, of course, because they're big, their water loss is big as well. So Houston, Dallas, Austin, you can kind of go through the list, San Antonio, all could benefit from being eligible to tap into this Texas Water Fund.
Some other ways the money can help include the desalination of water and projects for wastewater and flooding. I'm Robert Thornton.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
It's amazing how fast things can change.
The breaking news you hear in the morning can take on a whole new life by that evening. And some days there's so much happening you really need a whole team of journalists to keep up with it all. The American Family News app not only gives you that team, you get a biblical perspective on politics, pro-life, education, and much more wherever you are. Stay on top of the latest news facing Christians today. Get the AFN app from your app store and you'll never miss a thing.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues. That's the name of this here show on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. We got 24 and a half more minutes of education and news and information. And you see what I did there? It was a rhyme. You didn't see what I did there.
I have to admit I wasn't listening.
Or
I can't recreate that moment of magic.
Magic.
You just have to pay attention next time. Ed Battagliano with me, with my colleague and my son and my brother in Christ, Wesley Wildmon.
Hello.
And so Fred left the room, and in comes Steve Paisley Jordahl. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
What's going on, Steve?
Well, I'm breathing a sigh of relief right now. Until this is 20 minutes ago, something broke that I was kind of worried. In the future here, I'm years down the road when my fingers give out and I need to retire from being a reporter at AFA. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but now I know.
Okay.
I'm going to be an NHL coach.
No.
I didn't know that was an option until a couple minutes ago.
National Hockey League.
Yes, National Hockey League.
Now Ed's listening.
Yeah, sure am.
Because I didn't know that I could coach just using ChatGPT.
Oh, I didn't know you could either.
Well, apparently, because so the Calgary Flames are coached by a guy named Ryan Huska, right? You know that?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that team.
Unless it's the Bruins.
They're pretty bad.
Well, and this is the thing. They are bad. So Coach Huska decided he needed to think outside the barn. This was his talking. And this is what he came up with, cut 19.
So I went down a rabbit hole last night after watching this game here. And I put in, because use ChatGPT, I put in 5 games, goals that we've scored. I gave it a bunch of different things to go in there. People's career shooting percentage, the amount of shots they've taken in those 5 games, projected over the course of the year. That's where we end up, which leads to that on the year, 2.36 goals for during the year.
So, his team isn't very good, so he goes and figures out what to do using ChatGPT. And if it's that easy, I mean, they make good money. So that's what I'm going to do when I retire, if I ever retire.
They don't make as good money as a college football coach at LSU.
Who gets fired.
But now, unless ChatGPT can yell and scream during intermission and toss over tables, I'm not sure how good a coach that would be.
I can do that.
You can do that, Steve? Okay.
Hey, before we go to further stories, we do need to talk a little bit about what's coming up. And I've turned Wesley loose on this.
Just turn me loose.
So we're
buckle up, everybody.
We're
we have an
switching to
announcement.
a different topic.
Yes,
we're leaving GTP chat.
we're melanin supplements.
And
all that.
And a GT, that was quite a car for those of us who lived through the 70s and 80s.
And we're moving on from InstaFace.
Okay.
And Snapface.
Chat, yeah.
You Snapchat that and send it out to people.
Hey, can we get serious, guys?
Yeah.
We have
I doubt it.
That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I really doubt it.
All right.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those that are listening, we have National Collection Week for Operation Christmas Child. From now all the way through November 24th, we're asking you to participate in Samaritan's Purse Operation Christmas Child. It's something that we've done each and every year. I'll just summarize what it is, and then I'll point you to where you can get more information and questions asked. It is where you go. I'm pretty sure they want you to use their boxes now, but you pack a shoebox with materials that can be used in areas where kids are less fortunate. And you can go to SamaritansPurse.org or SamaritansPurse.org/OCC, and there you can find more information about what you can put in the shoebox. These shoeboxes will go to different parts of the world, Operation Christmas Child is hoping to reach 12.6 million children with the gospel through these shoeboxes that we're describing. We're asking you to participate in it. So there at the website that I just gave, and I'll give it again here in a second, you can find out what you can put in the shoebox, and you can find the drop locations. Most local churches in your area is going to have a drop locate, or going to be able to receive your shoebox, and then from there they'll get them where they're supposed to go. So go to SamaritansPurse.org/OCC.
I got a question for you there, Wesley.
Yep.
I want to participate. I'm not feeling all that much motivated, though, to go shopping. So I think I'd like to give the kids some shoes. Do you think I could just buy some shoes and send the box on over?
What I know what you can do is you can go to that website, and I'm pretty sure you can purchase a box that they will fulfill for you.
That's.
But as far as shoes goes, I don't think you
they'd
could
fit
put
the box.
They've just then that's all that would fit in there.
Well, I mean,
Hey, some kids
somebody needs shoes over
that's
there.
true.
Steve, are you on some kind of medication or something today?
Melatonin.
You're
Melatonin.
You're a wild man.
Yeah.
That's my name.
Yes.
The most important information is the deadline, and
Which
that's
is when?
November 24th.
Okay, so we support the Operation Christmas Child Shoebox campaign, and we're telling you that the last day to do that is November the 24th, right, Wesley? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
And turn them in so that they have time to ship them out before Christmas.
That's right. Yep.
And they go all over the world.
Yep. What an easy way that we can spread the gospel and fulfill Matthew 28.
You know what we need to do one year, and I'm not suggesting we do it this year, but we've done it before. Some of our team has go over to North Carolina to their International Distribution Center, where they collect all these shoe boxes. I think it's in one place. Maybe they got.
Maybe they all end up in one place.
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the home offices for Samaritan's Purse. That's why I'm guessing it's there. Maybe it's in another city. Maybe it's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Huh? You know see what I did there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a terrible Billy Graham impersonation.
It was, but I got it.
Okay, you got it. I did it enough to where you understood.
Yes.
Yeah. Find out where they're. Well, anyway, I think it'd be
like a live remote
interesting
broadcast
for us to do our show from there one year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, live broadcast.
Yeah.
I remember.
Not a dead one.
No.
You don't want a dead broadcast.
No.
Who wants to listen to that?
No.
I remember back in the day when I was working at Focus, they actually offered to take me on the big Antonov plane where they deliver all these boxes to wherever they were going. It was somewhere in Eastern Europe. I couldn't do it, but they were going to take me as a journalist on the trip and hand them out.
Walker Wildmon did that, and J.J. Jasper's done that.
That'd be great.
I know.
John Wright, Boone, North Carolina is the headquarters where they bring all the shoe boxes to one location, and they also have to double check them. They make sure that they're
safe.
Fit the qualifications that they have set for shoe boxes to be sent.
That's a great idea. We could interview people who work there, volunteer there, people who are behind it, in terms of executive leadership. That would be
I'd just like to see how it works.
Yeah.
Physically see how it works. Pretty amazing operation. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. First story, Steve.
We talked yesterday, I believe it was, or Monday, I guess it was, to Frank Turk about the Turning Point USA event that was going to be happening at UC Berkeley. And it happened, but it wasn't without some controversy. They put the protesters right outside the front door of the meeting hall where TPUSA was going to hold its event, which means that everybody who wanted to attend had to go through this little narrow passageway past all these protesters. There was fights. It seemed that UC Berkeley was making it as difficult as possible on everybody. One of the things that happened was that there was a Christian man who was outside. He was wearing a red shirt that said freedom. You remember the shirt that Charlie Kirk was wearing when he was killed was a white shirt with freedom. His was red, but it said freedom. He had a necklace with a cross on, and he was out there saying Jesus is Lord, and he was attacked by a man, strangely enough, whose name was Jihad. And Andrew Colvett, who was TPUSA's chief of staff there and helping take over and help Charlie's wife run the place, was with Jesse Waters and kind of talked about what happened. Cut 14.
How about this guy, Jihad? Can you believe this guy's name is Jihad? What was he trying to? He was trying to snatch that guy's, his cross off his neck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what he was trying to do. This was a peaceful guy. We have video from well before this altercation took place. He was just out there with his Red Freedom shirts, and he kept saying, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is Lord. And they were agitating, they were attacking him, jeering, and he just remained peaceful until Jihad came up, grabbed his cross off his neck, and that poor gentleman went to go collect it, and the guy started attacking and assaulting him. And to his credit, he kept going. He wanted his cross back before the police. They obviously didn't know who started or what was going on. Both of them got cuffed, but ultimately it was Jihad that is getting arrested, and he's getting charged, thankfully.
Well, of course, we want to say allegedly until this, goes to trial or whatever. But let me just say that allegedly, this is a perfect demonstration of what's happening all over the world in terms of Muslims and Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And in some countries, they're not just trying to snatch a cross off their neck. They are
cut off their neck.
Trying to cut off, kill these people. And the fact that his name, the alleged assailant, is named Jihad, is a perfect, almost like a
Who names their kid Jihad?
People who are all in.
Yes.
They're all into the worldwide
the whole
jihad.
Faith that is willing.
Or maybe
to
he changed his name.
No, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I do know that the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, whose name is Harmeet Dillon, has decided that they are going to open an investigation into what went on at Berkeley. Cut 13.
It is not a both sides problem. When a violent mob like Antifa comes and attacks like this, it's what we call a heckler's veto in First Amendment jurisprudence. And given the fact that there has now been a terrorist designation here, the Joint Terrorism Task Force is going to be looking into this.
All right, so
I was going to say that's why it's good that we have. It's the FBI that pronounces a group being a terrorist group. Is that correct?
I think it's the Department of Justice.
Department of Justice. Okay,
Correct.
so the Department of Justice just recently, I believe, in the last couple of months, announced Antifa as a terrorist group.
Yes.
So now you can prosecute them accordingly, and you can do investigations like you just heard.
And where they get their money.
Yep.
And who's backing them and who's organizing the protests, because these aren't like somebody you see down at Kroger and say, hey, I hear that TCP USA is having a meeting. Let's get our buddies together. This is on social media. Some of these
Private
people
chats.
apparently are paid to do it. Yeah, and so this investigation, and let me tip of the hat once again to the Trump administration for doing this, because it was the Biden administration, I think, that kind of turned these folks loose, at least allowed them to operate in a wide open space. The Trump administration going after these people, investigating them, maybe prosecuting them, we may find that there are money ties and organizational ties to other countries trying to undermine our freedoms.
To your point, if you remember during when the Democrats elected or picked Kamala Harris to run in place of Joe Biden.
I'll never forget that moment.
You remember that?
Yeah. I remember where I was.
Yeah, I bet you do. When she was within one of her first few interviews, she was asked about the riots that were taking place, and she said, "quote They shouldn't. I support them, and they shouldn't stop, and they should continue, and they will continue." She was in 100% support of the riots and the violence.
Oh yeah,
that take place.
Wasn't Joe Biden the one who said there's no such thing as Antifa as a organization?
Yeah, he did say that as
Antifa
well.
is an idea.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then by the way, then Kamala Harris, then Vice President, she paid money out of personal money to bail out the
rioters.
Some of the rioters in Minneapolis. Remember that story?
Yeah.
So anyway, where were we gonna? What was the other?
The point is that now they are, because of the Trump administration, and the DOJ are designated as a terrorist groups, and therefore they can be prosecuted accordingly.
Antifa, we're talking about.
Yep.
All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Thanks for listening to AFR. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. Tim, Wesley, and Ed. We're here today with Steve Paisley Jordahl, our newsman. So if you've maybe you didn't follow Charlie Kirk and you wondered, well, why did so many people follow his organization and his ministry, so to speak, or his calling? We have a clip now, Steve, that gives people a taste of what Charlie Kirk would do on college campuses all over America, and also encourage people to engage people themselves. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is a longer clip than we usually play, and it is Charlie Kirk at one of his Change My Mind. He was in the tent like he was at the University of Utah. This is a gentleman who's a Christian, said he's a Christian, and challenged Charlie on his government involvement, called him a nationalist. They had that debate. It's longer than usual, but we wanted to give this to you because it kind of gives a flavor of how Charlie would interact with people, the tone, the mode, the politeness, that kind of a thing. So listen to this, and we can talk about it at the end. 12.
So I'm particularly concerned about your brand of Christianity. As a Christian myself, Christian nationalism I do not agree with at all. I think it's antithetical to the values of the early church. And I think, how do you reconcile especially white Christians in this America, marrying politics and power with their faith in this country?
Well, there's a lot there. I've never described myself as a Christian nationalist. So I'm a Christian and a nationalist, so I've never used those two.
And then right there, that and nationalist, where in the scriptures does a Christian...
Well, thank you. Jeremiah 29:7, demand the welfare of the nation that you are in, because your welfare is tied to your nation's welfare. Let me continue. Daniel fasted and prayed for his nation. Esther and Mordecai cared for their nation. They were counsel to the king. Right. Nehemiah, Jeremiah, Joseph, Jacob. I could keep on going. Moses, Aaron. In fact, Moses was so political that he wrote an entire book of the Torah all about how to set up a government. It's the book of Deuteronomy. So, in fact, the Bible is an explicitly political text amongst many other things.
Now, can we interpret those texts in the light of the revelation of Christ? Because you just cited all Old Testament texts, but you've not once cited St. Paul.
Okay, yeah. If you want me to also, by the way, just so we are
cite St. Paul about the kingdom of heaven and the governance.
Just so we're clear, do you think that the New Testament is greater than the Old Testament?
It is. It is greater because the revelation of Christ dictates how we interpret the Old Testament.
So you think that all of a sudden, like Genesis 1 is not as great just because of the New Testament?
The Old Testament was a type and shadow of the things to come, and now we live in the full revelation of Christ.
Again, that is by definition such a dangerous theological...
That's not true. That's Christological theology.
Hold on. Of course I believe in the resurrection. But to all of a sudden say that, like, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth is, like, somehow lesser because of the revelation of the New Testament. Christ even said, I did not come to abolish the law of the prophets, I came to fulfill the law. In fact, he said all the laws of the prophet hang on the two teachings, Leviticus 19 and Deuteronomy 3 through 5. However, to use a New Testament example, as you asked, says in 1 Timothy, pray for your leaders in authority by name that they might make righteous and great decisions. I'm going to continue. Christ our Lord said, on this rock build my what?
Church.
Wrong. Ecclesia. It's not the word church.
Oh, the word English translations of Common Bible say church, so my bad.
Well, actually, it shouldn't, because the original Greek term says, on this rock build my government structure. Ecclesia was a secular word used in that time, which was all about the advancement of freedom and liberty, which are the two words in Greek, eleutheria, isonomia, which are the two words there. So the point being, Christ called us to be salt and light. We as Christians should change the environment that we come in contact with. That's what salt and light do. So why should we then not care about changing government to be more Christ-like?
All right, so the program, that's where you hit the end of the break.
Yeah,
no, in all seriousness.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah, for sure.
That was Charlie Kirk. Wanted to play that for you because I came across that clip on, I think, YouTube or something the other day, and I was just going, wow. No wonder the devil didn't like this guy.
Yeah.
Or hated this guy. Because he was very, very effective. What you just heard, that's what he did all the time
Multiple times a week.
On college campuses. Now, Frank Turek does it too, Brother Frank does.
Alex McFarland.
And there's some others. But Charlie had developed a big following anyway. He would go to these college campuses and all comers. It's amazing to me. It's one thing to, as an intellectual myself, it's one thing. What?
I didn't say anything.
No, I know you didn't. But Wesley,
you held well. You held well. I did it for us all.
Wesley and Steve are about to burst out laughing here. Okay, so all right, as a would-be.
And there you go.
Well, as a wannabe intellectual myself.
We're all wannabe intellectuals here.
So it's one thing to prepare for a debate where you know the subject matter and you know who you're going to be debating against and you know the time constraints and all those things. That's still very challenging mentally to do. And you were on the debate team, so you know how that works. And I've been on radio and television interviews many times over my career with people on the left doing debates, doing discussions, doing disagreements. So, but to have the spontaneity that Charlie Kirk invited, where people come up to the microphone and one after another, ask questions, and he doesn't know what they're going to ask necessarily, but he knows maybe they're going to be adversarial or they wouldn't be asking questions anyway.
In fact, he asked people who disagreed with him to come to the front of the line.
Can you putting yourself out there like that? And then that's why he developed this huge following of people who wanted to go and watch him on college campuses and on social media. Wesley, go ahead.
Yeah, and that was, I don't remember the exact date, but that goes back a couple of months. I've also seen one with him on the Second Amendment, and he had a debate with a gentleman who is actually a more of a moderate. He wasn't a far left, but he just also didn't agree with the way the current system set up. Anyways, I remember him debating or having an exchange or debate, however you want to look at it, with this gentleman on the Second Amendment. And the guy that had the microphone actually posed a couple of questions or points that Charlie himself said, you know what, on that one I could, it's not the way it currently is set up, but I could agree with you that I could agree with you that we should make that change. And so there were times where in his debate or in his argument that in that same debate he also said, I don't know about that, but let me get back with you on that.
Yeah.
So
he was legit. He was real.
He was genuine.
He was genuine, and I think that was part of what attracted young people to him.
That's right.
Is because if he didn't know, he'd say so.
Yep.
And he was respectful. He was respectful in that exchange.
Yeah.
And so listen, as we've said, as many people have said, there was one Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
God seemed to clearly have raised him up. But that doesn't mean there aren't more, if you will, more Charlie Kirks out there.
Tell you, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, just go to YouTube and type in Charlie Kirk debate. There's hours of this stuff.
Yes. And what's interesting is that a lot of people who had only heard of Charlie but had never seen him do these, after he was assassinated, they went and started listening and watching these videos. So his impact continues.
Do you know Charlie Kirk, even one of the ironies here is that he never went to college.
That's right.
Right, he went and then
he may have went.
One semester he dropped out.
He may have gone to college, but he didn't go to college or graduate from college. And yet he was known for going to college campuses.
Yeah.
So, all right, my thanks to Wesley and Ed and Steve and Fred. And,
folks, don't forget to take your melanin tonight.
Thank you, Ed. I almost forgot to mention that. And Brent Creeley, our producer, and Brother Jerry Lawson was on with us.
Go get your Christmas buttons at
Is the website working now?
It's working.
Where people go to get the Christmas buttons?
Resources.afa.net. I think traffic had slowed it down. Resources.afa.net. It's up and running now.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.